Hey everybody, so today I am here to give you guys a review of the Lansinoh Smartpump 2.0. First, I'm going to go over my review points, then give you a look at the pump itself and what it comes with, and at the very end, obviously, share my experience and if I recommend it. So let's just go ahead and get started. Now, the first review point is price. It is $160 both on Amazon and on their website, but I will be talking a little bit later about a promo code that I have for you guys to use on their website. And then the second review point is function and ease of use. It has a little bit of a learning curve just because it does offer different modes and frequencies and suction levels. There are a few things to figure out just based on what you like, but it's not anything that's complicated. Number 3 is recommendations and reviews, and this is a brand new pump, so there aren't many out there, but the places that I have seen reviews like Amazon, their website, places like that, they do have relatively good reviews. And then number 4 is portability and power options. It has a wall adapter that it comes with. There's also a built-in battery compartment, and then there is also a car adapter that they sell separately now. Number 5 is accessibility to replacement and spare parts, and even though this is a brand new pump, it is using the same parts as the Lansinoh Smartpump first version. So with that in mind, they do sell complete part sets in stores. I've seen them in a box that have, flange, connectors, valves, like the whole 9 yards, even a collection bottle on there with some tubing. It all comes together for a set price. But with that being said, they also do have parts online. I will have those linked down below. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. Number 6 is customer service. I've experienced theirs a few times now and they've been nothing but helpful. Number 7 is durability, and I will say that there's no lifespan mentioned in the user manual, which is a really good sign. And from my personal experience as an exclusive pumper, it's been able to keep up with me, and I see no reason why it wouldn't in the future. Number 8 is noise level. It is very quiet. I will get more into that during my review, but it is a very quiet pump. There are a few more things that I wanted to add before I showed you guys the pump and what comes with it. The first one being that it does offer two-phase expression. If you don't know what that is, it's where it mimics baby's natural sucking pattern, where it goes really fast at first to stimulate milk, and then it will slow down to help draw out milk and empty you. So like I said, it does offer that. The next thing is that it is a closed system pump, meaning it does have a mechanism in place to stop milk from getting back to the motor, but it is also a single user pump, which means it is only meant for one mom to use. And I also want to mention that it does have a grab handle, a light up LCD screen, a timer, and also a memory function, meaning when you turn off the pump, it'll start back up where you left off at. I will say that the memory function is a little different than most. It's not going to leave off just where you stopped pumping at. It will start back up in stimulation mode, but it's going to remember whatever setting you had stimulation on mode the last time you used it. And that's where it will start. And then when it kicks you over into expression mode, that's when it'll go ahead and remember whatever setting that you had for expression mode as well. I almost didn't want to mention that just because this isn't trying to be a comparison. I do comparison videos separately, but I did want to let you know that memory function on this pump is a little bit different than with other pumps that you're going to find. Normally, I do leave the PDF link down below to the user manual, but currently there is not one available, but I will update this video once there is. And then lastly, I did want to mention obviously that this pump has smart capabilities, just as the name implies. It does connect to your phone via Bluetooth, and there it will sync to an app. That way you can log a bunch of different stuff. This new app that they have will allow you to log stuff for not just mom, but also for baby. So for mom, you can log nursing, pumping, water intake, all that stuff. And then with baby, you can log diapers and bottles and nursing, whatever. There's also an overview that will just load up and you can see, just kind of at a glance what's going on. But then they also have a timeline option that'll show you breakdown hour by hour, what happened, when it happened. I'm going to be going more into detail in my how to use video on what the app offers, how to log everything, but I want to be very thorough when I'm showing you that. And I just feel like it's more relevant in the how to use video where you might actually have this pump in hand and that way you can see everything. So I just wanted to mention the key points so you knew what you were getting with the app, but you could download that yourself right now and you can take a look at it. Obviously, you're not going to have a pump if you don't buy this one to have it set up to, but you can kind of navigate the app. But I did want to mention some of the key points about the app just so you knew what it had to offer and get a general idea of it. So now I'm going to show you guys the pump itself and everything that comes in your box. And like I said, right after that, we'll get into the review. So here's the pump. Okay, so I zoomed you guys in so you could see the buttons a little bit better. As far as the buttons go, right here is your power button. Right here is your decrease suction, increase suction. Over here is to alternate between the stimulation or expression mode. And then over here is to vary between the different pumping styles that they offer, but really it's more like frequency. So there's a very fast frequency, a more medium kind of setting, and then a super slow frequency. So those are all the buttons. And then down here, you do have your handle. You also have your wall adapter port right here, and then your tubing port right there. And then on the back here is the battery compartment. My fingers are covering up the QR code for the pump. This is where you are going to be able to put your batteries. Like I said, it does not come with any. You have to buy them separately, but that's just kind of a look at the pump itself. So as far as what you get with the pump, there is a user manual, and then there is also a little pamphlet about the app to help you set that up. They do offer 2 sizes of their Comfort Fit flanges, and then there is a bottle nipple, cap, and lid. This right here is your travel bag that they include. So it unsnaps and it unfolds, and it's an entire pumping bag that you can stick everything into. You get a couple of bottle stands, also a couple more, and then a couple extra duckbill valves and collection lids as well. And then last but certainly not least, my favorite, because it is the same one that I've owned for quite a few pumps now, the cooler bag that they have. And then inside there, you've got your pumping kit. So it's collection bottles, connectors, membranes, you know, everything that you actually need to pump, also the tubing, and then also a little gel ice pack as well. If you want a more thorough kind of look into what you get piece by piece, check out my unboxing. I did that a while back whenever I first got this pump. So that is everything as far as the features of the pump, what it has to offer, everything that comes with it in the box. So now I'm just going to go ahead and get started into my experience. So I will say that any pump that I review, I try to be unbiased as possible. Obviously, there is going to be some, I'm human. It's only natural to have a little bit of that. But I will say it was especially hard this time around, because if you've been around for any length of time, or you've asked me what pump I use from day to day, it was the Lansinoh Smartpump first version. That is the one that I've been recommending for years. So I had very high expectations, whereas I think with other pumps, I try to go in with none and just let them set the bar for me. So I tried to not have high expectations, but it just really wasn't working this time around. With as much as I loved the first version, it was very difficult for me to kind of set that aside and to let this pump be its own. So I loved the fact that it had a grab handle, the first thing that I noticed. And then once I fired it up, I realized how quiet it was. And to give you just a general idea of how quiet it is, whenever I am out here pumping and, you know, my kids are playing, we've got the TV going, you know, whatever, it might just, you know, all of our normal noise basically in the room, you cannot hear this pump at all. I can hardly remember that I'm pumping if it wasn't for the fact that I actually have something attached to me. That's how quiet it is. I will say that if it's dead quiet in your house, obviously you are going to hear it a little bit, but I do not find it loud at all. There's been times that Mark has told me he hasn't realized that I'm pumping because it is that quiet, and he's just across the room from me. I was very happy to see that they kept the different styles available, because I've told you guys that I love a high frequency. It is one of the keys to me emptying well. I just find that I am much more efficient in pumping when I have that. This pump does offer that, and I'm able to get that high frequency that I'm used to, which I'm very happy with, and it feels great. I will say the actual feel of the pump, how it feels to use it, in my opinion, it's a little bit more comfortable. I also feel like it has a little bit more suction to it as well, but again, it still does have lower settings, so if you don't need as much suction, I still feel like you'll be happy. But that being said, I use more of like a medium setting. For expression phase, I sit at about 2 or 3. With that being medium, there's lesser options and there's higher options. So that leads me to believe that if you need more or less suction, it would appeal to you as well. So about the smart capabilities, we need to be honest for a minute. So when it comes to these things, I don't actually use them from day to day. I use them for the length that I am reviewing a pump, and then that's it. I don't really rely on the smart capabilities of a pump, just because me personally, it brings more pressure and anxiety to me as a mom. I do not like it. I don't feel like it fits with me. So I do use it while I'm reviewing a pump, because I do think that's important to you guys to know how that stuff works, but I do not use it on a regular basis. And I'm telling you this because I realized something, and kind of being honest with myself about that. And it's that I recommend this pump no matter if you're going to use it for the smart capabilities or not. The smart capabilities are great if you want to log, pump sessions and feeding and output and diapers and all that stuff. It is there for you. You have the option to do it. It walks you through it. I think that they have some really great graphics on there about flange sizing, emptying, a bunch of different stuff. I think they did a great job. But at the same time, if you're not into that, if you're not into logging things, or, you don't want to see that kind of stuff because you're like me and it applies that little bit of pressure that makes you uncomfortable, you don't have to. And it's still the same pump. It still works the same. And I realized when I was thinking that to myself that I don't recommend the Lansinoh Smart Pump because of the smart capabilities. I recommend it based off of how it physically works for me. And that's the reason why I have recommended the older version time and time again. It just is what works the best. And I realized again with this pump as well, I probably won't continue to use the app just because as a mom, it doesn't fit me. But the pump itself is amazing and it's what works best for me. So I love the fact that this pump offers a little bit more for the people who want it, but if you don't want it, it's not like it inhibits the actual use of the pump. Using the pump and the app together cohesively worked well for me. As soon as I got everything up and running good, it worked seamlessly. I have no complaints about it. Whenever I was logging, I did notice that I didn't have to have the app up and ready before I started my pump session, just as long as I loaded the app and started an entry sometime before I stopped the pump. Meaning if I had been pumping for 15 minutes and I realized I didn't log a pump session, I didn't get the app started, I could just open up the app and it would pick up counting right where I was in my pump session. It's not like you need to load the app every single time right when you start the pumping session, just sometime before you end the pumping session. Obviously, if you don't load the app anytime that the pump is in use, it's not going to log it. But like I said, it was nice because when I'm sitting down to pump, I don't typically think of that because I'm not used to it. So for me, it was nice because I would think like 13 minutes into a pump session, oh, I need to start one up. So I would, and it was really nice that it could just kind of catch up with me basically. I love the feel of the pump. It's really hard for me to kind of give a review of this pump itself and not want to keep going back and comparing it to the old version. But I will say, just thinking of it as its own pump, I am very pleased with it. I like that it comes with a battery pack. I like that it has different frequencies to offer. I feel like it's got a lot of different suction levels to offer. Basically, I think it can appeal to a lot of people. It just has a lot of different things going for it that I feel like it's just gonna hit a wide range of people. So with that being said, I also want to mention that Lansinoh was nice enough to give me a promo code for you guys, and I'm so excited because it's a great promo code. I think you guys are gonna put it to some great use. Like I said, it is available on their website and Amazon. I'll have both linked below, but they gave me a promo code that I'm going to put right here on the screen so you can screenshot it if you need it for later. It will also be down in the description box below as well, but it is Alia 30. It will give you 30% off a $25 minimum purchase. That will bring the Smart Pump 2.0 down to about $111, which is a steal. A steal for a brand new pump. Like, it blows my mind. It is such a great deal, but it does not have to be on the pump, whether you're on there for accessories or spare parts or whatever. Just as long as you meet the $25, you can use that Alia 30 to get 30% off. So yeah, I will have all that stuff linked down below for you guys. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching.